Welcome to the 2012 Pick n Pay Knysna Oyster Festival, home to the legendary Big 5 Sport Challenge, where top athletes take part in no less than 5 major sporting events, all in only 10 days, as they battle for the podium and enjoy some of the most spectacular scenery in the world, right here in SA's favorite town, Knysna. Last year saw over 65,000 visitors enjoy South Africa's premium holiday festival, with hundreds of fun activities for the entire family and some of the best sporting events on the calendar. 2012 promises to be even bigger and better. The Big 5 Challenge offers competitors the chance to do every main sport event, and for some athletes it's the highlight of their year, with everything from mountain biking to trail running, cycle races, canoe challenges and much more. Sit back and relax as we take the plunge into the best 10 days of your winter. The Knysna Oyster Festival has been a part of this beautiful and amazing town for the last 29 years, and Pick n Pay helped to develop and grow it to what it is today. Known as the heart of the garden route, Knysna is the perfect getaway spot for city dwellers with pristine lake areas, lush natural indigenous forests and more. It's a beautiful backdrop to any outdoor enthusiast. No matter what your idea of the perfect holiday is, the festival has something for everyone. From running, cycling and adventure racing to wine and whiskey tastings, cooking competitions, food and wine pairings, gala evenings, live music, the Pick n Pay Young Oyster Festival, and of course, oysters. For those less adventurous, Knysna harbours a myriad of hotels, restaurants and other nightlife venues that host a number of events, from braai competitions to oyster eating and oyster shucking duels, fun and games for the kids and parents alike. The festival also focuses on development in the Knysna community by assisting in funding and hosting many community-driven events, such as bocce for the disabled, music competitions and the Knysna Soccer Tournament, presented by the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport. Knysna really has everything for everyone, so join us to see why they call it the best 10 days of your winter. For the competitive and hardened athletes, the Pick n Pay Knysna Oyster Festival provides a daring ultimatum in the form of the Big 5 Challenge. To prove oneself an extreme human machine, capable of mastering not one, not two, but 5 body-bruising, energy-sapping sporting events. These 5 events, together with the incredibly audacious scenic natural sports field, call out to those most capable. With the competition being as fierce as it is, the top contestants train themselves mentally and physically and skillfully prepare their required equipment with dedication. As the foreseen terrains are tough, the athletes know that they have to be tougher, not to conquer the races, but to conquer themselves. The events include the Pick n Pay Weekend Argus Rotary Knysna 80km mountain bike race, a choice between the Pick n Pay Weekend Argus Rotary Knysna Cycle Tour 100km road race or the 22km Knysna Lagoon Challenge. The 15km Salomon Featherbed Trail Run presented by GOO, the Total Sports Xterra presented by Rehydrate Sport, and an option between the Pick n Pay Cape Times Knysna Forest Marathon or Half Marathon.
Yeah, I can feel the pressure, but I mean, what can I do? Just keep my best. Just hang on to Stuart, I think that's the key.
It is early on the first Saturday morning of the festival. The race's favourites congregate at the start line, and though the tension is building, it is overwhelmed by an almost visual excitement that the sporting spectators fire on with their cheers from the side. The rest of the mountain bikers approach, and those who've done it before discuss the route's technicalities with their new mates. The route starts in Knysna and quickly makes its way up the grueling Samola Hill and into the Gona Forest. The cyclists will pass a couple of farms before disappearing into the woods at Komsapat. Their skills will be tested as the mountain bikers will cross the hills before the Outeniqua mountain ranges as they descend back to Knysna, and they will pass by Samola Golf Course again before returning to the finish line in town. And they're off. In order to alleviate the congestion created by the countless mountain bikers, the competitors are released in a number of different groups, but even so, the front group separates quickly, and even within the group, the top athletes push on and out above the rest. The tar disappears soon after the Samola turnoff, and a muddy road is all that awaits the mountain bikers for the greater part of the race. A quick and fast downhill to the Gona River station causes a bit of excitement before a renowned climb along the mountainside, where a broadening in the road with a beautiful view creates a perfect first resting spot for those not determined to win. What makes this route a winner is the great selection of local ecosystems, and this is evident as the bikers cycle through the beautiful farms in the Cape's Fynbos sections.
Yeah, awesome stuff. World class. We are king of the mountain at the moment. Yeah, loving it, loving Knysna, loving the event. Beautiful scenery, great big five. Nice buddies. What could you want, eh? Should we have a peanut butter sandwich just now? That's it, peanut butter sandwich.
The race has so far taken us to where the front mountain bikers are to enter the thick forest at Komsepak. Potential casualties of the race, determined not to give up, quickly revive their melancholic bikes back to life, and a large water stand from Pick n Pay is the perfect spot for tired athletes to rehydrate. Meanwhile, mountain bikers from all levels of fitness spread out over the rest of the track, and those behind drink in the natural beauty of the surroundings.
One of the reasons I'm doing the Big 5 was to get into the trail run.
That's your first time?
Yeah, first time, yeah.
A mixture of fatigue and elation settles in as the mountain bikers enter MTO's forest on the other side of the R339 towards the end of the race. Those who entered the 50-kilometer race hit the tarmac back towards town. At the finish line, families and friends of the participants eagerly await. The anticipation builds towards the end of the race as Stuart Murray gives all he's got to cross the finish line first, minutes ahead of last year's Big 5 winner Antoine van Heerden, who is followed closely by Darren Smith.
Yeah, second with Darren just right behind me, so pretty much together, and then Stuart left us on the first hill. So I had a tough competition, so it made it really hard. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. It's a week of competition, so we'll just give our best every day and see what happens.
It was awesome. It was perfect weather. There was just a little bit of rain, so no dust. Perfect temperature. Loved it.
The overall top mountain bikers were honoured at the prize-giving event, where the Nedbank Pavilion at the Pick n Pay Knysna Oyster Festival grounds provided a haven of nourishment, where everyone could grab a bite to eat at the Pick n Pay Fresh experience. Even though the winners celebrated and the families congratulated their heroes, the Big 5 contestants knew that this was only the beginning. Pick n Pay brought several social awareness campaigns to the festival. One of these was the Pick n Pay Like Bike.
This is the Pick n Pay Like Bike stand. It's bringing social media activation to the festival. It's all about getting the festival goers onto these 2 spinning bikes and clocking up the kilometers. And also people who are not at the festival can like our Facebook page. So it's all about more likes equals more bikes. For every 100 kilometers that people cycle here, Pick n Pay is going to donate bikes as well.
The Pick n Pay Weekend August Rotary Knysna Cycle Tour road race was next on the Big 5 list. This event draws thousands of cyclists from all over the country, and subcategories cater for different age groups and fitness levels. In contrast to last year, the route is directed westerly on the N2 around South Africa's second largest estuary, the Knysna Lake areas, and then directed straight through South Africa's slow town, Sedgefield. Passing the Swartvlei on their right, the Big 5 contestants have to cross the lake areas and take the steep climb towards Cookville, a beautiful town situated on the hills behind Wilderness. The great condition of the N2 National Road in this area ensures the cyclist a memorable cycle through one of South Africa's most beautiful wetland areas. Though the road is long, a final downhill before Knysna called Cater's Neck makes for an exciting finish around the lagoon. It is early in the morning when the race commences, and nerves exposed to the elements signal all the muscles, especially those from the gluteus maximus downwards, to start contracting and releasing rhythmically in order to act as pistons that drive the entire system forward. Iron Air Pro cameras are seen everywhere as athletes want to document their race.
Okay, so I'm Australian, but I live in Cape Town, and first time in Knysna, so I decided I may as well do the Big 5. So far, it's so well organised. Really enjoyed the mountain bike yesterday. I think it's going to be an amazing week. So glad the weather's turned out for us. And I think the most challenging one is going to be the X-Terra.
While others get off to a slow start, promising newcomer to the Big Five, Stuart Murray focuses and pushes ahead of the crowd at a pace described by others as impossible. The Swat Lane Sedgefield provides a long straight flat, a stretch where only the athlete's individual ability will dictate who excels and who falls behind. Up the hill at Hookville brings a permanent separation between the two leading athletes and the rest, as it is predominantly downhill from the halfway mark back to Knysna, and the fittest of the cyclists don't need brakes. Stuart Murray is yet again the first of the Big Five to reach the specially dedicated timer used exclusively for the Big Five competitors, so they can have a separate timing solution, and others follow systematically.
That was rather tough, eh? Nice and fast, awesome conditions, big climb in the middle, good race, lots of fun. Great.
My plan is to have a hell of a lot of fun and at least 2 cream donuts and a half a banana loaf.
Alright.
The cycle and mountain bike races attracted record entries this year. Independent newspapers said once again how happy they were to be involved as a sponsor to an event where the entrants know they're going to be looked after and shown some amazing sights whilst taking part in something they enjoy and supporting charity, which is helping to uplift the people in the local community. The overall cycle winners are applauded for their hard work and impressive times on the road. Medals are awarded to the winners, and the rest take the time to rejuvenate their bodies and disperse into Knysna to see what other wonders the town has to offer. One of the popular events in the Pick and Pay Knysna Oyster Festival, the Knysna Classic Golf Day, presented by Tabasco, hosted by the immaculate Pazula Golf Estate. The estate is situated on the coast between the Knysna Heads and Nutsi on the east. It is the perfect occasion to hang out with celebrities and test your skills at the popular sport. Just one more reason to join the Pick and Pay Knysna Oyster Festival. For those who don't fancy 2 consecutive days in the saddle, the Knysna Lagoon Challenge is an alternative Big Five event to the 100-kilometer cycle race.
First mountain bike race yesterday was the 80k one, and I didn't think my butt would be able to handle another day in the saddle. Also, with the Big Five, you've got all the running races coming, so it's just an ideal opportunity to rest your legs.
Starting in the Knysna Lagoon, just outside the Knysna Keys, paddle-hungry competitors gather behind the starting line to set off in a garrison of water-crawling paddlers. After the start, they quickly make their way to Knysna's popular landmark, the Heads, before turning to Teeson Island. But they have to combat the tides first before they can get there. Those participating in the race do so with a little less aggression and take the time to enjoy the clear blue waters of the Knysna estuary. The race ends at the Knysna Yacht Club, and the competitors eagerly depart for a night out, some heading to the whiskey and chocolate tasting evening at the Cruise Cafe. It's Tuesday, and the Big Five Challenge contestants get themselves ready for the third leg of the challenge, the Salomon Featherbed Trail Run, presented by Goo. In order to participate in this relatively new but ever popular sport, the competitors have to cross the Knysna estuary in ferries towards the famous Featherbed Nature Reserve, situated on Knysna's west head. As soon as they arrive at Featherbed, the runners gather at the start line, where race organizer Mark Collins gives the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
They run along the waterline on an historic walkway built towards the Stairway to Heaven. To the left, the angry Indian Ocean's waves break meters from them, and beautiful private beach areas make for an unforgettable scene. Stuart Murray uses his climbing ability and pushes hard to reach the top of the stairs and gain distance between him and the other runners. As soon as the runners reach the top of the staircase, they enter Southern Cape's rare short forests before reaching Fynbos, which will stay with them for the remainder of the trail. All some of the top competitors can think about is how much closer the end line is and who will be the first to get there. The highly tactical terrain proves difficult for some as evidence of fatigue sets in. The front runners reach Knysna's historical train bridge and make their way back towards the town and finish line, whilst others still battle it out behind the Lake Brenton residences. Though flat and straight, the train bridge spans over the expanse of the Knysna Lagoon with a single walking track over the water, enforcing maximum concentration from the runners.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the winner of the 2012 Salmon Tournament run. Give it up for them. Here it comes. It is
Yeah, so this is the third one for me on the Big Five. That's 3 in a row, and I'm really chuffed about this one. I fancy my chances in the Xterra, and I look forward to having a good half marathon as well. And, you know, no one could follow from the start, and from then I could just enjoy the run. Beautiful scenery, you know, the view over to Knysna and Buffalo Bay from the top there is just spectacular. I reckon it's some of the best running in the world.
The other top athletes soon follow in Stuart Murray's footsteps, and the Big Five runners congratulate one another at the timing diver. Sunmarie Voigt finishes as the first Big Five lady entry in the morning race, but it's ultimately LA Brunt that takes the overall top spot for the trail run. Magnetic South hosted the prize-giving event where Petzl and other sponsors gave away prizes to the winners.
Give it up for our winner, 55 minutes, 58 seconds, Stuart Murray.
Stuart Murray had safely secured the position of leader thus far, and while he celebrated his success, the other athletes had the opportunity to go out and explore the various Tabasco oyster hotspots around town. On this evening in particular, one of the hotspots was hosting the Oyster Catcher Oyster Shucking Competition presented by Tabasco. Others spent their evenings at the wine festival and night market at the festival grounds, warming up by the fire and enjoying amongst others Knysna's favourite delicacy, oysters. The Total Sports Xterra presented by Rehydrate Sport draws many spectators to Pazula's Field of Dreams in the hills just outside of Knysna. And although competing Big Five athletes are tired after 3 back-breaking events already in less than a week, they are still up for the challenge. The Big Five challengers line up at the start line, supportive crowds gather around and everyone gets ready for the exciting start.
Well, listen, it's been tough this year, obviously a lot of competition, way more than last year. I can tell you what, the guys came out fierce and firing. I mean, we got Stuart Murray and Tony van Heerden, the guys, there's a couple of Jeep multi-sport guys that came from KwaZulu-Natal. So listen, it's tough, the pace has been hard this year, everybody has been feeling it. I mean, I hear the guys and I see everybody limping a bit.